Hello, I almost had a heart attack. Yeah, it's true. I'm not kidding. That was about 5 days ago before we went to the other place, vacation home. And I thought, okay, this is it now. This is totally, it really, really registered with my brain now, this time, okay? So I was totally clear now. There was absolutely no more cheating on my vegan program, okay? No more, no more, no more. Okay, just this one time, this little piece of cheese that someone offers me, or, my husband tends to offer me a lot of those things. So, because for me, it's not a little bit here and there. It never has been like this with the alcohol in the past. And luckily, I wasn't into that much into drugs. I tried some, but I wasn't overdoing that stuff. Thank goodness. But alcohol, I did. Smoking, I did. And binge eating, I always did. And the wrong foods and all the most horrible, horrible stuff, sludge that you can imagine. And back then we were ignorant and totally out of it. And for me, it's never just a little bit, it's never about, okay, a little bit social or, whatever, social partying or something, of something, some substance. No, for me, it's like total excess or either that or nothing. So I opted for nothing with the alcohol. I opted for nothing with the tobacco products. I opted for nothing with any kind of substance that is bad for you. Any kind of over the counter, under the counter, street, whatever, party type of paraphernalia. I was finished with this at age 25. And then came a long phase of pharmaceuticals, antidepressants. I was done with that in 2003, thank goodness, because I heard about Dr. Schultz. I was on my healing quest. I went to a massage therapist and she told me about Dr. Richard Schultz. That was a lifesaver for me. I can only recommend him to everyone. And Dr. Schultz really explained it, and I read his books, amazing book, 20 Steps to Holistic Healing, something like the title, something like that. I don't know exactly the exact wording. And in this book he explains how extremely life-savingly important it is to live a fully whole food vegan lifestyle, okay, and not put any animal sludge into your bodies. And a lot of people seem to have sort of, they have seemed to incorporated the lifestyle with animal sludge to the point, and I've had friends, several of them, who I had to break up with, um, among other things as well, because they were just plain and simply rude, and some of them were cruel to me. So, yeah, cruelty isn't digging it for me anymore. I used to be more masochistic before 25, but I know a whole lot better now. So, and I can only tell you, everyone out there, if someone is cruel to you, it's finished, okay? Finished, finito, okay? Done with, move on. I wish them well and move on, because no one, nobody should put up with someone who's cruel to you and who tells you that in the most cruel way, in the most covert way possible, tells you that you are whatever, looking this or that. I don't want to go into the details of it, but we all have our insecurities, and no one deserves to have that feeling enforced, and this feeling of insecurity, and this feeling of whatever kind of shame that people have, or embarrassment, or whatever. That should never, ever be in any form cruelly exaggerated or pushed at you even more. So you want friends who love you the way you are, for who you are, whatever age you are. And particularly older people, they get very insecure, myself included. We get very insecure, and we feel ugly a lot. And I look in the mirror, and I sometimes just feel like crying, it's just crying. I either laugh or I cry. A lot of times I laugh. But when you find a partner who sticks with you for that long, you better stick with that partner. Because I tell you something, that's true love. If someone sticks with you no matter what, through any kind of phase. And so I stick with Paul because I really, really love him. I really love him, even though it is unbelievably difficult at times for me. And we have very different brains, different ways of acting out, different ways of ego, protection, ego, self defense, and so on, that then steps on someone else. But he is not deliberately cruel to me. And so if you have friends who are deliberately cruel to you, let it go. Okay, that's all I can say to this. And so one thing for sure for me is very clear, that, and the animal cheating sludge. I haven't eaten meat in many, many years, but I have eaten some cheese, I've eaten candy, I have eaten terrible pumpkin pies that are not vegan, that Paul bought. And he doesn't make it easier for me with this, but I see that he has food addictions that are very tough. And it takes for me an extra Herculean effort to stand really strong and say no to any of that stuff. And so this is what I have to do now. It's just like when I was 25, when I quit all the stuff, when I finally had to say to myself, this is it, I'm drawing the line here. I am drawing the line with the food as well. I tell people I'm vegan, but then, I cheated. So that's not vegan. A cheating vegan is not a vegan. So there's no more cheating. Now I have to I really stick to it, because I tell you what, veganism, first of all, we should do this for the animals. We should do it for ethical reasons. Okay? And if we don't do it, we're going to have to pay a real high price with our health. And this is just a complete fact. Okay? And I've had this before a couple of years ago, where my left arm got numb. And 5 days ago, it was so severe that my arm not only got numb, but it had needles running through it, and my chest was hurting right in the heart region. And I put some clay on it, which helped, but clay alone isn't going to cure your heart. You're going to have to completely get off the animal sludge, and there's no other way around it. If you like your life, if you want to live, to commit suicide eating animal sludge is not the best way to exit. Um, I know this now from personal experience because I can just imagine if that pain got any worse, then you're probably not gonna die that quickly. You might be in that pain for weeks. And I don't think even painkillers can help with that because it's just like it's an your body goes into convulsions of unbelievable pain and muscle spasms and hardening of the arteries, and I don't know what it all does, and the nerve endings in the heart, and how that when that contracts and when the heart tries so hard to push the blood through those clogged up veins and all of this, all I can think of is that song by Slayer, hardening of the arteries. I'm gonna listen to that later. So anyway, that's what we don't want. We need another song that's called Go Vegan, Baby. Maybe a heavy metal song. We can also make it into a salsa song. We can make it into flamenco song or into a classical opera song. Whatever you want to do, but do it. Go vegan, baby.